What's going on, dudes? Nick here, or RGA Gaming, and welcome to episode number 1 of Catching Hackers in PUBG. Now, thanks to the implementation of the replays system, it makes it so easy to catch hackers. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to see who's hacking. And it's kind of sad because, as you can see, we just played these games an hour ago, 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. And I had a bunch more. I deleted them all off because I didn't really feel like watching through each of them again. Plus, it was full and I lost a replay that I really wanted to have. But yeah, let me go through some of these replays and show you guys how easy it is to spot hackers. And you'll see how frustrating this game can be when you do so well and get so far only to get killed by a hacker at the last minute. All right, so this game here, you're spectating me right now, and I'm a little bit ahead of my friends Chris and John. This is actually from today's live stream. Actually, it'll probably be yesterday's live stream by the time this video comes out. Anyways, let me go to their perspective. So you can see they're behind me, and right now I'm spectating my friend Chris, and we're gonna see something interesting happen here. So we're kind of all running across the field, and any second now, they're gonna start taking fire. They're looking over there. You can see the guys in the corner, and okay, so he just took some damage, and just wait for it. Sounds a little fishy. Now, you can hear that that gun is shooting extremely fast. So that was kind of the first instinct, was like, okay, that didn't really sound right. Something was off about that. So let me change perspectives here for a little bit, and I'm gonna go back a second and put you in the perspective of the guy that kills him. All right, now here's the perspective of the guy that we're watching. You can see I'm running there in the front corner, and I'm a little bit further ahead of them than this guy is. Now, they just killed another team here, and they're kind of picking up their body. We'll come back to this team here in a second, but I just want to put you back in that same scene that we were just in, and you'll see how fishy this actually is. And wait till his magazine gets emptied, and that'll be the absolute icing on the cake to prove that this guy is a hacker. So right now he's looking around, he doesn't see anything, then all of a sudden he looks off to the side and sees them running there, and we'll just watch. The guy has, just check out his scope. Did you hear it? Hold on, let me see. Can you pause this for a second? No? So let's pause for a second. I don't think you could actually pause, that would be too nice. But if you didn't hear it, go back and watch the video again, and as soon as this magazine runs dry, you hear it click about like 3 or 4 times. It just goes brrr. So the guy had some type of auto clicker. Like, okay, fine. You know what? That gun is one of the faster shooting M4s. So maybe he just got a little bit lucky. But let's go back to his perspective a second and rewind again, and just really pay attention to what happens here. So let me go. So here we go, guys. As soon as he starts shooting, you're going to notice that he's got no scope, and he has no recoil as well. Watch his crosshairs. They don't move off their bodies. They trace them perfectly. Watch this. No recoil. And then you have those 3 clicks at the end. So yeah. They basically, at the end there, they've got, you can hear the 3 clicks. It just, so clearly, the guy was using an auto clicker to shoot that gun as fast or faster than it was designed to. And you notice that his mouse didn't move at all. There was no recoil. They were all like right on their position. Now that gun has a lot of recoil, so that's pretty much impossible to roughly guess about how fast you need to move your mouse to get it back on target. Now, if that's not enough proof, let's just go back about 30 seconds earlier, and you'll notice something. So let's just go back to here. I'm gonna go back to MGK's position here, and they come into this city here. Now there's a team looting the crates area in this map, and there's one guy here, and there's another 2 back there. So if we speed up to about, again, you can see there's no recoil on this gun. And notice how he tilts his camera as he's firing. Now, let's just speed up like another 30 seconds towards when he starts shooting at Chris and John. As soon as he goes to fire, he tilts to the right. So from that scenario there was 2 instances where that guy was staring right at his targets and had no recoil on either one of them. His gun shot extraordinarily fast, and every shot was pretty much accurate. So that was one of our earlier games, and there's a few more games that followed that have very similar patterns. So let's go check one of those next ones out. All right, so the next guy that we're going to watch here is this PC Chang dude. So we're playing, and we're across over there. You can see myself and Symbiosis and Dasok are next to each other over there. And then you're going to see a couple random shots. Now, he can clearly see me, but he has yet to try to shoot at me. He can't really see him. He can kind of see him crawling through the grass now, but you'll notice that he gets a headshot on him, which is fine. I mean, he's standing still. So he kills him also with a headshot. Okay, so fine. So he was crawling on the ground. He got him with a headshot. But I wish I knew what these crosshairs meant. You can just see how it kind of bounces around. It's really, really weird. I know I'm not moving very fast, but it's just weird to see the crosshairs move like that. I don't know if the crosshairs in this game are the actual player's inputs that come across every time they send, like, where their crosshairs and mouse are positioned, or if that's just a visual glitch. But I'm assuming that the actual crosshair position is where their crosshairs are physically at on the server side. Like, they tell the server, okay, I'm here, I'm standing there, I'm looking in this direction. That's what I think the crosshairs mean, but I'm not 100% sure. Now, you can see with this guy, the crosshairs never stop directly on our heads. The last guy, his crosshairs constantly were on our heads every single time he fired. Whereas this guy, you can kind of see it moving around a little bit off to the sides. It's never perfectly on. But if you go back and watch the last dude, he lines up, and every time it's on the head, he shoots. It's almost like he's got a bot that fires when it's perfectly on the head. Actually, in fact, let's just go back and see if we can watch that again. All right, so here's that same scene. You can see John's over there. I'm over here. Chris is over by John. And he's about to start shooting at John. Now watch his crosshairs. Right on the head. Now look at that. The crosshairs again, right on the head. Every single time the dude shoots, the crosshairs are like snapping perfectly onto the head. So again, headshot, headshot, headshot. Now watch when he goes to take a few shots at me. It's gonna be the same thing. The crosshairs are constantly on my head. So here we go. They're constantly like snapping across my head. And next shot here, as soon as it gets on me, it's like snaps to my head and then he fires. Another one here, right on top of me, firing again. Now, clearly someone could really be lining that up. But like I said, when we go to his partner here, all right, so here's his friend. Now, just watch his friend when he goes to shoot the exact same gun, exact same scope, and just notice how the crosshairs don't perfectly line up with anything. So you can see how when he scopes in, the crosshairs kind of trail behind the player. They drop down to the side a little bit, and there's a few more shots coming out here as well that you're going to see that will do the exact same thing. So basically, he's looking around, trying to find us. He sees him up there, but, you know, he's shooting close to him, but not perfectly on him like his friend was. So he sees him again, and you can see the crosshairs are just, you know, off to the left side a little bit, to the right side a little bit, but they're never just constantly perfectly on the heads. And that's the big difference between those two players. So I don't fully know if those guys were cheating. The fact that he got 2 headshots in a row and every single one of his crosshairs was constantly snapping back and forth to heads tells me that he was probably cheating. Now, I'm going to do some more research to figure out if that's what that actually means, if the crosshair is actually what your client sends the server. But if it is, then that would make a lot more sense, and it would probably help us with future demos. All right, now we're in a part of the game where something interesting happens, and this isn't the first time this has happened to me. There's been a couple times in other games where I've been able to do the same thing, and it pretty much works every time. Now, right now, I'm just messing around. I threw a flash to try to blind them, which I thought was funny, but watch what happens when I take out my pistol and I shoot the plane. There you go, plane's coming overhead. I take out my pistol, and this shot right there, that 5th shot, is the one that actually hit the plane. And as soon as it hit the plane, the cargo dropped out of it. Now, that's just a joke. Clearly, I mean, I was just screwing around. But we come across a couple of hackers here, not these guys, but another car that comes and kills us. So check this out. Basically, that car comes in, and there's a few guys here, and we end up taking the entire squad down. They try to take refuge inside the little building there, and eventually we take them out. So, skipping forward a few seconds, you can see that we just ended up taking that team out, and we are now starting to loot their bodies. Now, listen in the background. sounds like someone's shooting pretty quickly. Okay, so Chris and John got knocked out. So check this out. Now, if you couldn't tell, those shots there were extremely, extremely quick. Now, we're going to go to their perspective in a second, but you notice how quickly those all went off, and you notice how they all hit the same spot in the dirt. These are very accurate, very fast shots. Guys are just riding through the forest in their car, and you know, nothing crazy's going on there. They're driving their car, so they probably can't hear a ton of what's going on. They know we're over there somewhere, but they're not exactly sure yet. And we are finishing up the enemy team right now. So their whole team is dead, and now we're done firing. Now, they're pretty decent ways away. Now, check out the fact that the guy was holding down the trigger on that gun, on the DP-28, and he knocked both of them out. It was shooting extremely quickly and extremely accurately. There was no recoil at all. He wasn't moving up and away. It was perfectly on their spots. So let's go check that out one more time. We'll go back to here. No recoil at all. His gun's not lifting up at all. And notice how he's tilting to the right. What else happened in one of the previous games when one of the hackers was spraying with no recoil? They tilted to the right. Okay, so that's interesting. So, like I said, we'd come back to that whole tilting to the right thing. Now, just keep an eye on this for a second again. Same thing, tilting to the right, spraying his gun, no recoil anywhere. Now, I'm getting a few shots off on him, and he realizes, oh, hey, there's another guy over here. Same thing. They always tilt to the right. So I'll admit, the second game itself was not 100%, but the way the guy was shooting and aiming was a little sketchy. But the first and third games, you kind of noticed a pattern where when they were spraying with no recoil, they tilt to the right and just hold down the trigger. So let's see if we can continue that pattern in this next map. All right, now this match goes on, and there are 8 people left alive, and there's a guy behind us who's about to go down very shortly, but we're all 3 alive. We've got some pretty good gear, and we're swimming across the river to get within the zone, and the last team alive is a team of hackers, and you're going to see this here in a second. So I took a little damage there from the water, which was weird because I thought I was close to the surface, which kind of ticked me off a little bit, but not the end of the world. So anyways, we get up on these rocks here, and we're kind of just sitting around there. We're waiting for this guy to die, basically. But before we even get a chance to do that, to watch this guy die, something happens that catches me off guard, and I could kind of tell by the sounds of the shots that something wasn't quite right with this. So tell me if you guys can hear what you think I heard. Did you guys hear it? And if you don't, it's the very fast shots that were all on target. Did you hear the 3 to 4 pan shots back to back to back to back to back? Now, let's go ahead and just wait a second here. So basically, we're taking cover behind these rocks. Both John and I are downed, and now Chris is getting both of us back up. But he gets me up, and I can kind of see that these dudes are still sitting up top there. And so you can just see that the iPhone dude just killed that dude with the headshot. So we peek up, and we're trying to get any shots on these guys, but as soon as we peek up, we've got lead flying our way, which is, I mean, that's part of the game. But you can hear how fast those shots are, and they're all hitting the exact same spot. So I just got hit with another, like, 3 to 4 shots there. I get downed. I died, and they're pushing up on us. They're trying to kill us all, and we end up dying. So let's go ahead and go back a second here and watch from their perspectives. So we're going to go to their very first kill, which comes up pretty quickly here. Now, at this point, no one has fired a shot. Nobody knows where anybody is, but they kind of run right up to where we're at, and they already start scoping it out. Now, you can see right there, I literally just got shot 7 times in a row. John gets shot a ton of times, and we both get downed. Now, here's his friend, the iPhone dude, who's trying to take out the guy in the water, who unfortunately isn't able to do a dang thing, because he's basically just swimming in the water, takes him out with a headshot. Just, you know, quickly scopes in, bam, right to the head. And now we're peeking up, and, you know, we're just not staying up long enough for this dude to get off any hits. Come back here again. Now watch this. They have no idea we're there. We're not shooting anything. But notice how this guy's tilting to the right again. Tilting to the right, just spraying at us, you know, just lighting the crap out of everyone there. Nothing weird going on, just, you know, tilting to the right, just standing there. I mean, yeah, he's behind a tree, so he's kind of tilting out to not expose himself fully. Now, I can't tell if that's a glitch because I'm watching as a replay, but I could kind of see my outline on there. I feel like that's either a glitch or it's something with the replay system. Either way, like I said, we weren't shooting at anybody. We were swimming across the water for about a minute before we even got to that point. But this dude's running straight towards us. You can see our markers are right there. This dude's getting in the zone, and he's not stopping anywhere. He's not looting the buildings. He just runs straight up here. No shots are being fired. Looks down there and just says, oh, hello, and just starts taking everyone out. Had no idea any of us are there. No shots, nothing. And this dude just ran straight up to it. And then his teammates, you can see, are way back there. So, I don't know. It's just, it seemed like a very weird scenario. The fact that the dude lit us both up, and he's got the whole tilting to the right thing going on. I don't know, guys. What do you guys think is going on here? I mean, from what I can tell, they are getting a lot of really lucky shots. I mean, the fact that he knew we were there in the first place is very weird. You know, and I get that some players tilt because they're hiding behind trees and stuff. But at the same time, you can see how on the previous maps where those dudes were aimbot hacking, they literally just held down their right, or they leaned right, held down their triggers, and their crosshairs never moved off of us. They're perfectly on that spot. So I just don't know if that's a glitch in the replay system or what, but there are definitely a lot of hackers in this game. So, you know, if I'm wrong about this stuff, guys, definitely let me know in the comments. I mean, I'd love to know more about some of the internal dynamics of this game, but there's just a lot of weird stuff that happens inside this game that I can't really explain. Like, how did this guy know that we were all there? He literally ran up to the tree and just looked off to the side and started unloading us. In like the first and the third games, how did those people sit there from far away? I mean, the one dude didn't even have a scope and just sat there and sprayed at us and killed all of our team. I mean, there's just, they could all be really, really good players. Or there could be a lot of freaking hackers in this game. A lot of people that I know are pissed because they always die to what are hackers. And now the replay system does clear some things up. I actually had a lot more replays that would have been really clear indications of hackers, and unfortunately you're only allowed to keep 20 at a time. So basically I'm just going to start making these videos every time I have a round. I'll record like a little clip of it and then compile them all, so I don't actually lose any of that stuff, because I probably had about like a good another 4 or 5 examples that were, you know, pretty much 100% confirmed hacking. And it's kind of sad. So if I was wrong about any of these, let me know which names I was wrong about, and I'll kind of go back and see if I could learn a few things. But there's a lot of fishy stuff in here. Like I said, for these guys just to run straight to us, I mean, this is like the back half of the zone. The zone was this big thing here. It's the outer blue circle. And they, instead of just running into it, checking out these buildings here, the dude runs straight up to that tree as cover and starts unloading on us. Like, there's just some really weird stuff. And the same thing happened the other day in a match as well. So I'm not really trying to complain. I mean, there's really not much they can do about the hackers. I know they're constantly banning tons of hackers. And, you know, I appreciate all the efforts that they're doing now to get the hackers under control. But it is still something in this game that is kind of ruining it in a way. So hopefully they can keep picking up on that. And, you know, like I said, maybe some of these people, they're not hacking. Only time will tell once I start playing this game more and start studying some of these replays to see what exactly happened. Because the replay system really has helped a lot to be able to see, like I said, some of the weird shots that I would have swore in-game would have been like, oh, that dude's hacking for sure. You know, watch the replay and be like, oh, okay, never mind. He was staring at me the whole time. Or, you know, on the other side of things where you watch the replay and you're like, okay, maybe the guy just shot me. And, you know, all of a sudden he's just running over the hill, comes over the hill, bam, he headshots you. Like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that it teaches you about the game. And I'm really glad they implemented that. So shout out to their developers who added that into the game, because that is really a huge part of this. And if you guys like this video and want to see more catching hackers in here, let me know by hitting that like button. And if you guys have replays, I don't know if you can actually save your replays. I haven't tried finding replays anywhere. But if you have replays where you've got clear hackers, send them to me, rgaminecraft.business@gmail.com, and I will take out your replays and I will play through them and see if I could find out any hacks. So if you think someone's hacking, let me know. And until then, I'll keep making these videos, busting hackers, dudes. And I will see you guys again next time. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, everybody. As always, dudes, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and possibly check out one of these other videos here. I think you really might like them. But I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everybody.